Hello and welcome to BrightIAM. I am Lucy Black and I am delighted to be joined here today by the lovely Jo Crouch. She is our newest Trek participant from our lovely village here in Sussex. Hello, Jo.
Hello, hi, thank you for having me.
It's so lovely. So I think to start with, it's really nice to help people understand who are listening and watching this how you came to be involved with Kidscape Kilimanjaro, because you're actually one of the few people that our ambassadors haven't converted to the cause. So we have Andrew Barton and Josh Braid, our ambassadors of the climb, and they seem to have recruited this whole village, this whole community of people. Now, you saw a poster somewhere. Mm-hmm. Could we just start with that? Take us there.
Yeah, sure. So I go up to London every Wednesday and had sort of sparked up a little friendship with the couple in the coffee shop at the Hassocks station. And one morning came along as usual, get my tea. They know what I want. And they said, Paul said, I'm doing this walk. And would he sponsor me? And I looked up there at the poster and said, Kilimanjaro. I said, but that's on my bucket list. I said, I've always wanted to do that. And he said, come along, there's spaces. And by the way, it's for this charity, Kidscape. And I said, well, tell me more. And he said, well, it's an anti-bullying charity. And immediately the triggers went off for me because that's a cause really close to my heart.
Okay, good.
And all of a sudden the stars felt like they were aligning a little bit. And I said, okay, Paul, I'm going to hold on the sponsoring just yet because I might just look into this. Anyway, I gave it a few days. I had the following week off, went online, had a little look, and I just immediately went, I'm not even going to think about it. And put down my deposit and that's it. I was going to do it. And then the more I read into Kidscape and everything that they were doing, it just felt absolutely the right thing to do, that it was going to converge with Big Birthday in January.
Okay, so this is nice.
Yeah.
So what date in January is your birthday?
10th of Januany.
Okay, so you're not going to be having a big birthday on the mountain, but it's that same month you're going.
Absolutely, it's just before. So, and it just felt, like the right thing to do. I was coming through into this big birthday, big trip, big cause, and why wouldn't I say yes?
Do you know what? I absolutely love you, Jo. I mean, I really do. And I'm going to tell the listeners how we first met, actually, very shortly, because that's brilliant. But there are not many people I cross paths with in life who actually are that, not spontaneous, decisive. There's something you've always wanted to do. Mm-hmm. Paul, our lovely participant Paul, he is a very special man. I mean, whatever he told me to do, I would just nod and go for it anyway. He's brilliant. But actually seeing something that's on a bucket list, something that's part of something you always wanted to achieve and to do, but to just move with it without knowing anyone, apart from Paul, who knows to make you a nice cup of tea, and going for it. And actually, we're going to go into and explore and discover what kind of doors that has opened already in the few weeks you've been signed up as a participant. So I heard from the Uncharted Summits boys, which you've met online now and you'll be meeting in person again soon. They said, we've had a new recruit sign up. I said, who is it? And they said, it's Jo. I said, Jo. And then Paul, who had done my coffee the day before, had said, I've been speaking to this lovely lady I see every week. You're going to love her. She's great, lives here. Jo. And I said, I wonder if that's coffee shop Paul's Jo. And this was the conversation. And then you reached out on LinkedIn, and we live in the same village. Yeah. We have never met. We've never spoken. And I did a message back. I thought, this is lovely. Great. Then the next day, in true Sunday style, we're talking jogging bottoms with little bits of dirt on, right? We're talking cap, no makeup, walking in a field with my lovely little dog, and lo and behold, you're walking up the other way. We didn't know who each other were at the time. And in true, I think, middle-aged woman fashion, we started telling everyone about each other, all about ourselves, all in one fell swoop, in one big breath, didn't we?
The whole lot.
Yeah, just like, we thought, you're nice, I'm going to talk to you. And we're chatting away, and you said to me, what do you do for a living? And I did say, I think, something along the lines of, it's a bit difficult to explain, but I'm in this social impact space, I work with good causes. And you looked at me, and I looked at you with your reaction, and you said, you're Lucy Black. And I said, you're Jo, you've just signed up to Kidscape Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
And we couldn't believe it.
Yeah. It gives me cold shivers now just thinking about it. It was like the universe thrust us together and said, and that's like when you make a decision that you feel so sure about, is that everything else. It's maybe woo-woo for some people, but that's how
I'm
I
with
feel.
you. I'm with you. It's alignment.
Other things start aligning in their place, and it was just so immediate.
Yes.
It was literally the next day, and the events went dunk, dunk, dunk.
Yes,
as soon as I
did.
signed up, all the events happened, like going to lunch with my friend, her telling me about you, us then meeting. It was, it was a bit mind-blowing.
Yeah,
actually.
everything.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny?
Yeah.
So I really feel, I feel really connected to you and your story on this climb because of those reasons. And also because you, like you say, you're having this big birthday in January. And I also know you've teamed up and you've got a nice new friend who also has had a big birthday recently, Dan Lustig, who you're doing some training with on Sunday.
I am, yeah.
So this is just lush. So I love Dan. I've known him for many years, actually, and he is just such a good sound soul. So somebody else you've never spoken to before, but now you're going to be making that connection with.
Well, we're going to get baptism of fire. It's going to be a 5-hour walk on Sunday with just us two.
Good.
So we're going to probably unpick all sorts of life. But I love that. I like being thrust into environments with people that I don't necessarily know, because that blank canvas is just the curiosity of finding out about each other's lives, challenges, whatever it is. You just learn so much from each other.
You do.
And then in the process, maybe become besties. Who knows?
Yeah, you take strength, don't you? You share something of yourself in those conversations. And actually, in a previous podcast recording with the Cedar Summit team, I believe it was Ollie who was there, and he was talking about how he's been on walks with Sam and with Josh, and we're talking hours and hours, back-to-back hours and hours walking already in training. And he's opened up about things he hasn't spoken to his male friends for years. So it's that space to share, and actually that permission to hold those conversations. Yeah. And I think on that mountain, there's going to be some incredible chats from all different subjects. There'll be highs and lows. We'll get to that in a minute.
I'm guaranteed.
Yeah. And it's like anything. You're going to be with these people for that, big long time, aren't you? 10 days, really, you're together with the hotel stays.
Yeah.
But it's that shared purpose, that shared drive for that meaning, which is bullying prevention, which probably brings us quite nicely to what does that mean to you?
So, I think, there's obviously school days. I wouldn't be able to stand up and claim that I was bullied as such at school, the usual picking ons and all that kind of stuff. I think a lot of people experience that just as the progress of growing up and youth. But certainly entering into the workplace.
Right.
That is where I firmly experienced it in my first kind of big job, and under a boss who outwardly proclaimed that he was treated that way by his boss, and this is how he was going to treat everybody. And I'm a real observer of life. I mean, I'm a strategist by trade, and that's what I do, is observe and understand and kind of make sense of things. It didn't make sense to me. Why would your legacy be something of negativity and hatred and dislike? And I really struggled with it, but I got my head down and worked really hard and all the rest of it. But I didn't realise how broken I was until I left.
Okay, so you held that, held it, and when you left, that really knocked the wind out of you.
It was actually, I was there for 5 years, and I became quite institutionalised, and you become quite stuck and afraid, because it triggers loads of fear in you. And bullying makes you feel small, and it makes you feel incapable. It steals your confidence, your self-worth. And so I worked with this amazing lady called Gina Ali. I'm gonna name you Gina. She was actually a recruitment lady, and she literally extracted me from the coach. She's absolutely amazing. She stayed with me my whole career. It was actually the only job she'd actually really got me into. But I've known her throughout now my whole career, and we've always connected and shared stories. And she gave me the confidence to go, no, you're better than this, and you're more than this, and this is the place where you belong. And then when I left and went to my new company, and I happened to join in the January, and my birthday was coming up, and birthday came, and they roll out a little cake, and I remember being so choked that a company, an organisation would care enough to even give you a cake. And I realised they do it for everybody and everybody's birthday, but I'd never been exposed to that, even something so small.
And how significant. It might be small,
it really
but
was.
particularly
It
to
really
you.
was.
So from that adverse experience of nastiness, bullying and control, you've then been shown this little part of kindness. That's beautiful.
And
That's
it
lush.
suddenly made me go, oh, I think I found my belonging. And then you go gradually on these little steps forwards to, which has been kind of a lifetime, but of healing and learning, reflection.
Yes.
And from my journey as a whole, I've taken a lot of little wisdoms along the way, little learnings and things that I now use with my teams and my people to support them and to make them feel big,
Yes,
not
good.
small.
Good.
So quite the opposite. But it was a really significant learning curve. But one of the most fundamental things that came out of it was my decision to say to myself, the promise to myself is that I would never, ever let that happen to myself again, to me.
So you wouldn't accept to be treated in that way?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that you got institutionalized by the behavior day in, day out, day in. Did it get to a point that you didn't even see it? You just thought that was your norm then?
I was conscious of it because I was continually reminded there'd be something new or something else would come up, or you'll be thrust into a situation which you'd go into expecting, they want me to be able to show my skills and my growth, and then go, oh no, they didn't. They wanted me to fail.
Oh, now that's really hard.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I'm not that kind of person, and I very much step up to every challenge that's given me. And so I was always one step ahead, and that actually, in some ways, made it worse because that person wasn't able to kind of crush me or knock me down. So it was quite interesting to sort of see that, and that's just part of my resilience and my bounce back from everything. But I thank my mum for that, for giving me that resilience. But yeah, and it doesn't actually just extend to me. I came out of that going, I won't let other people be treated like that.
And that's that next step of power.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's amazing. Honestly, it's so lovely to hear, and it's so interesting to get people's takes on bullying and what it means to them. Because, it's over a whole plethora of different scenarios. It can be work, it can be in relationships, it can be in school, even university with exclusion, people leaving you out. It touches everyone's lives, which is why this universal climb. And I'm glad you say that you're ready to take on anything. You're that type of person, because you've got to take on Kilimanjaro. Have you ever even been to Africa? Have you been over that way?
I've been to South Africa.
Right.
So we've got friends down there, so I've done that. But I've never been to. So I suppose more with the heart of Africa.
Yes. And apparently it's gorgeous. I haven't been myself either, Jo, and it's on my bucket list, just not on this year's bucket or next year's even. And have you done any kind of challenge adventures before? Are you somebody who jumps out of planes? Are you someone who takes on Ironman competitions? What do you do?
Big challenges and things. Big sponsored walks, or I've only just got back really into training, and I've been doing that for the last sort of 6-8 weeks, and I've always been a big gym bunny. I was always kind of take on life, just not be afraid.
Yes.
Haven't jumped out of a plane yet, and actually the older I've got, the more frightened I've got of jumping out of a plane. But that is something I definitely want to do, because I feel like, you know what, chuck yourself out, honey, get on with it.
Once you've done this summit of this mountain, you'll be able to do, you'll be like, well, what's next? And this is a common theme, actually, a conversation I've had with guests here on the podcast, is it will be that feeling of, I've done it, I'm amazing, I've completed this. And it's training, it's fundraising, it's trekking, there's so many parts to it, and you will feel unstoppable. And then it very much is. But what else could I do? Zip line in can't remember, Costa Rica, I think was a suggestion from Dan. You'll have to talk to him about that
I
on
will
Sunday.
do. I did one in Brazil a couple of Christmases ago, which was actually a big deal, because I do have now a bit of a fear of heights. I used to be fine with it when I was young, climbing trees, hanging by my fingertips, and all the rest of it. So that was a massive valley, over a massive valley. But so yes, I feel ready to take on more challenges.
Yeah,
and I
good.
do feel going into next year that this is probably the first of many.
Yeah, good.
And I can't wait.
And good for you. And you know what I love? I love a bit of woman power.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
all for go on the girls. And actually, you know, your big birthday that's in January, can we share with people listening what your big birthday is?
Yes, I'm going to be 50.
She's going to be 50 and fabulous. I held back the F-bomb there. I usually put in an F-bomb there. 50 and fabulous, which is such a symbolic age, isn't it? It's such like an age that pops up. So you've got your 40, your 50. But what does it mean now for women? I mean, if you are 50, you're going to be 50 and fabulous. You're absolutely fabulous. You're taking on Kilimanjaro. What is it that we can do as women to really push ourselves and not say, oh, that's it, it's over now. You know, I'm at that sign-off day. I think we need our bodies to be stronger. We need our minds to be more resilient. We need to test ourselves, challenge ourselves. We're at this point, perhaps, where our children are starting to get a little bit more grown up. Different doors are opening. It's not closed down time, is it?
It's quite the opposite.
Good.
It's actually, it's how you take it on, how your attitude makes all the difference. And you can see it as, you know, so many stories you hear of women feeling invisible, you know, and it's not helped by going into menopause. I have a menopause training company as well. And so we're going out into organisations and also to healthcare professionals and helping them understand better how to be there present for women and women to self-advocate. And, you know, the importance of strength training, keeping strong, that's such a fundamental part of it. And coming back into the training now, and I've been working with the BYS gym in Burgess Hill, who've been unbelievably helpful in getting my strength back. Good. I've suddenly felt like more like myself again. I feel like I've turned back the clock. I feel like I can take on more challenges and be stronger and looking after what I eat and what I put in my body and realising that this is a time to actually become more visible. The kids are getting older. Yep. They're doing their thing. And it's time for me to do mine again.
I love that. You honestly, you inspire me. Oh. And I love your outlook. I love your decisive nature. I love that message that you're going to share with the world through this. Tell us, please, because I'm sure people who are listening, they'll be interested to hear a little bit more about your career and your work in life. What is your 9 till 5 or what is your side hustle? What kind of work do you do, Jo?
So my main job, 4 days a week, is working with Avalere Health, who are a healthcare communications company. We work with pharmaceutical companies and patient advocacy groups and across the board to help raise awareness of disease and support it with the right medicines and needs from healthcare professionals and patients. And I'm the head of strategy, brand strategy there. So I lead a big team of strategists within the marketing division. And I love it.
Good.
Their team are amazing. The people are amazing. They've been so supportive of this and everything that I throw their way. It seems to be one adventure after another. Hey, I'm doing this.
Good.
And they've been absolutely brilliant. So, big hearts out to them. And on my sort of 5th day, I have a company called Zao Woman, which I work with my business partner, Judith Spruce. We go in and train organisations around women's health, principally around menopause, and supporting them to be more aware and supportive of the 51% of the population that we are.
Yes.
And certainly in this country, there's about 13 million women in perimenopause and menopause and in the workplace. And we need to support those women to be stronger, to be more visible, to be supported and to get the right care and support that they need. And it's really, really important that we advocate for each other and that we are there for each other because you know, we all need a little helping hand sometimes, and sometimes we just don't know we need it, or we don't think to go and ask for it. Particularly as women, we wait or sit back on the sidelines and just make do.
Yes.
So we're trying to get out there and, you know, shout from the rooftops and be that voice where perhaps someone is whispering and they need a louder voice to support them through it.
It's really good. I love that. And I think it's very, very important. And so many women, well, all of us women, and life can be hard enough as it is. Like, life can be hard. Some days I am absolutely dilapidated. Like I've had enough. It got to that point. And then obviously us women with all our hormones, and then we get walloped by perimenopause, which goes on for years. And, life is stressful. Children, teenagers are stressful. It all seems to come and happen at the same time. So I love it that you're going out and using your positive attitude and your strategy and your support for change there. It's lovely. So moving on, I always have a little list here. The mountain. I've spoken to the Uncharted Summits teams. I've been present in so many calls. I feel like I really understand the mountain. Have you looked and watched any videos or imagined yourself taking this climb and the different terrain you'll pass through?
I've looked at some stuff. And the route, obviously, of looking at when we go up and down and the certain tricky bits that are along the way. And part of me I almost don't want to overwatch other people's experiences.
Yes.
Because I want mine to be fresh and new. And I quite like the adventure of not knowing what each day is going to actually bring and not overthinking it. Because this comes back to the not overthinking the decision in the first place. And I think it was a few years ago where there was a lot of change happened in my life. And I made the conscious decision that I was going to be more of a yes person and lean into optimism and positivity and, change my vibration, up it, lean into the joy of life.
Yes.
And see what doors open and just walk through. And,
I love that.
And part of that is like, I don't know if I need to see too much.
Yes.
I just need to know enough and make sure that I've got all the stuff that I'm prepared with. The team that are going to take us are amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put my trust in them to be able to deliver and be there in all the right ways when we might need it.
Yeah.
And enjoy the company of everybody else on the walk. That's what I just today we're on the WhatsApp group, and I think it was Alison was talking about training people in wilderness nutrition. I was like, well, topic number 1 on the list, that's what I want to find out about. So I'm like, that's going to be a conversation I'm going to have. And they're the things I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, all these different people from all these different walks of life, and you're all together and you can share these messages of support and hope and stories. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Really. Yeah.
And you are in very good hands with the Uncharted Summits team. And you'll also be on the mountain with a big team of ground staff as well. So I think that with the 40 participants, you're looking at about 3 grounds team per one person. So you're looking at, 160, 180 people as your group. It's a big group.
That's why I think it takes so long to get up there.
It takes so long.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to be bouncing up and striding up. It's going to be a gradual.
It's actually going to be a very slow. I'm a nightmare for walking. My children tell me off all the time because I just go really fast. My poor little pug's legs, and you've got a sausage dog. Those little legs go like Billy-O. But on this, I think the term on the mountain is poli, which is the Tanzania and. Slow down, slow. You got to go steady.
Yeah.
Because it's about that acclimatization, and that's the most important thing. Yeah. And I've heard actually from the team that they've been in smaller groups, not with this big massive group that we're doing this time, and they've seen these big strong men marching past, and the grounds team are like, not going to work. Yeah. And then literally half a day up the mountain, they're collapsed, they're on the floor, they're going back down. They're not making the summit, these fellas. Yeah. So slowly, and to be really present, and I think this is something that will suit you, every step, every breath, every change, every view, enjoy it, take it in. It's beautiful. Absolutely. And that law of attraction is something that it feels like it aligns with you. The idea that to raise your vibrations and to put positivity and good thoughts out into the world, that you'll attract the same back in. It feels very much that this is working for you, Jo.
That's 100% of where I am. Exactly that is what you put out is what you get back.
Yes.
And, for years I put out quite a lot of negativity and low mood, and it's been a journey and a life journey to realise what the flip side is. And sometimes, I've actually posted about this on LinkedIn, I had a bit of a personal loss, and it caused me to hit rock bottom. And there is only one way, and it is up.
Yes.
And those, I'm not suggesting that everyone has to have a significant life event, but to get there, but it caused me to shift my perspective and realise that, life can throw you some curveballs and some really difficult situations. It's 100% of how you choose to respond and what you choose to make of it. One of my philosophies in life is the good, the bad and the ugly. You learn from every experience. Life is about a series of experiences.
Yes.
And it is how you choose to take that forward. And it might be the best experience you've ever had. Brilliant. It might have been the ugliest and the worst, like being bullied at work. Either way, you've got to take, what was that? What was I being shown?
Yes.
What was I being shown by that experience? And how do I take that forward? And that's what actually I've tried to do throughout the whole of my life. And as I reach into my mid-century, it's sort of consolidated itself. It's made more sense, and I know where I am with it, and how to use it to its full advantage. But what you were saying there about presence and mindfulness, and is 100% how I see taking the mountain. And when I was at university, I first discovered meditation through a friend, and I used to go religiously every week. I used to practice every single day.
Brilliant.
My practice got bigger and better and more natural, and I'd sit for sometimes nearly 2 hours, and you'd suddenly open your eyes, and
wow,
time would have been a blip. And I had a bit of an amazing experience with that, and so that is part of also what I bring to it, and being present and just being still and watching nature and just the gentle passage of, let's call it time, of just being, is how I try and take life on. It's not always a perfect science.
Oh, it's never. No, you can't.
Busy,
That's right. And then outside stresses come in.
Yeah.
But I personally, I'm very, very similar and very aligned with what you're speaking about there, Jo, is that I am never more at peace than when I just key into me and my surroundings. And life is busy. It seems to come along and knock you off track sometimes, even away from your own beliefs and, but there are some things we can control. And I think reminding ourselves and practicing that return back to the self, feel the air, look at the view, notice the changes in seasons. And I think that probably Kilimanjaro will be this amazing, really high sense time for you to actually key into that. It's beautiful. Now, I tell you who likes a little meditate up, because I've got all the inside info because I know him all.
Good.
Andrew Barton.
Oh, nice.
Andrew Barton. And he's very much like you, very much like me, real big powerhouse, go-getter, makes things happen, brings people together, decisive, awesome. But like the yin and the yang, he has to have that balance as well. So he works out every day, but he also loves nothing more than a quiet meditation session. So maybe you'll end up meditating
with
wonderful. Andrew Barton on the summit of Kilimanjaro. Anything is possible now.
Can you think of anything more glorious? I mean, wow.
I know, isn't it wonderful?
Yeah, that does sound amazing.
Bless you. So just returning to my little list here. Something yesterday that I was speaking to with a few of the team members, I think it was the Sea to Summit boys again, they were speaking about this ripple effect. And I suppose from what started as a bright idea, gained momentum and participants and then our ambassadors and the sign up, this ripple effect, I think it goes on more than just signing up for this climb of a lifetime. The ripple effect of you inspiring others, maybe people that are close in your life, maybe people from your work, maybe people who are friends of someone else from the climb that are now watching or listening to this broadcast. That ripple effect is positivity and power.
Yeah.
And there is no better gift to give to people than to say, hey, I've had a really bad time of it actually, but this is how I choose to change it. So I think that's beautiful with you, Jo.
Oh,
I really do. I think it's lovely. And then going on to next year, you've done your lovely trek. You've had your fantastic experience. You're already weighing up what to do next, and you've got all your new friends from the mountain. As you know, we're going to be recording a documentary on the mountain, I always mention. The red carpet premiere will be at the end of the summer 2026. I could ask you what you're going to be wearing, but are you going to be bringing a hot date? I asked Dan the same question. I think I had to get several tickets for him.
We'll have to see if there's a hot date on the cards.
Yeah, okay.
I am a single mom.
Oh,
just
honey,
saying.
Putting it out there. We both are. P.S. We're fabulous.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I'm really looking forward to that, and because I suppose also I bet that will be a period of time where we've all kind of been apart, and then we'll all come back together for this like amazing celebration.
Yes.
And in our refinery. Just to watch our journey play back at us, I think it will be, an enormous moment.
Yeah, I think so as well. And it will be very much that goosebumps because they will be shots from your time on that mountain, and they will be smiles and tribulations and different things that have happened along that time, carefully curated with our videographers and shown for the first time to everyone there. Obviously, I'm going to be having a sneak peek. I'm like busy Kite and I. But this is the beauty, actually, of me being me and not being on this climb, being the storyteller, if you like, of it, and the presenter, that I can hold it for everyone and make it work and deliver it, and I can watch. And for me personally, at that premiere, because I'll be putting on the premiere, I'll be doing the event hosting and everything, to then sit and to watch you watch this, it's going to be like a full circle moment, actually, for us.
I think there might be tears.
I think there might be a boo-up going on.
I think it might be quite emotional.
It depends. I don't want my mascara to run though, Jo. Do you know what I mean? Ladies got to be careful. Ladies got to watch it.
Fixing spray.
And then tell me as well, I know you've got your lovely daughter. Mm-hmm. How did you tell her that this is what you're doing? Like, how did that come about? What was her reaction?
I think she's quite used to me suddenly landing things.
Is she? Good.
Oh, by the way, this is happening. And she's like, and did you think to tell me? She was... I think she's just kind of sort of took it in her stride and was a bit like, okay, Mum, okay, wow. That's great. That's really good. And the moment it's really sunk in is when she told me the other day, she went, I told some of my teachers at school that you were walking up Kilimanjaro for Kidscape, for an anti-bullying charity. And I was like, oh, did you?
Nice.
And I said, what did they say? They were like, amazing. Wow, that's incredible. And so what was lovely about that is that it clearly means a lot. And that inspiration is something that, I'm really passionate about to serve down to her, is to take on goals. Don't be afraid. Do go big, if you want to. But the feedback from the teachers as well is recognised, and that's fed back to her, so she can then square the circle, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Of what that really means.
Because we want our young people to look up to us and be impressed by us, and we want to be an inspiration for them. But actually, that often needs somebody else to say, that's inspiring, that's inspirational. Yes. So she looks up to her teacher, and she's been able to see and read their reaction to this. That's marvellous.
Yeah, really special. Yeah.
And then hopefully she will be empowered by this ripple effect, by this positivity, everything we've spoken about, to think about, hey, well, I can do it. If my mum could do it, she did it, she smashed it. She could do anything in her times.
Definitely.
Beautiful.
I think when you take on things like that, you do see it reflected in your kids, and you see them suddenly going, oh, actually, no, I'm going to give it a shot. So when you try and reinforce that confidence in them, they've got something else to lean back on that they've able to reflect on as to why you would do it. So
be the difference. Be the difference you want to see, and don't just preach. You have to practice it, don't you? Show your children, your young people, show those who are around you. This is how you make a stand. This is how you make a change. Be bold, be bright, be brilliant. I think that's one of my motto, and also Kerry's for her lovely business who's on the mountain. So good. And then just final point to talk around, fundraising. What are you planning to do to get to your target of fundraising? Have you posted out to your network? How's that going?
Yep. So this will be going out on the network as well when we get that and it goes live. I've posted out onto my LinkedIn. I've got a reasonable following there, and I've had some really great feedback through that. I've announced it at my work. I've still got some more announcements to go there. Yeah. So I'll be tapping up the CEO.
Good.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
And obviously through my Facebook. And I'm having conversations with a friend about how we can maybe do a little event of sorts.
That's nice.
With my birthday coming up, I essentially want to say to my friends, I don't want any gifts.
Okay.
I'd rather you just put some money into the charity. I don't need anything.
That's lovely.
So they're the things I'm working on at the moment, and doing a little bit of brainstorming about how I can get a little bit more creative and push that forward. But I'm sort of a third of the way there now already.
Wow, hold on a minute. You're doing great. I've got participants who signed up months ago. They're not a third of the way there. We don't need to worry then.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like, I just need to see it, those increments coming on gradually as you go forward, because time's ticking really fast at the moment, and before we know it, it's going to be the end of January. So just not sitting on your laurels, I think, is important, and constantly making people aware.
Yeah, talking about it, and it makes it real to you too. Yeah, so this is what I'm doing, and then you might get a nice snippet of advice, or you might get some lovely encouragement, or you might get a donation. But talking about the cause as well, which you so eloquently do. It is bullying prevention. Bullying is happening throughout the UK, throughout the world, and it's something that does need airtime. And this is a great way to discuss it and to get it out there.
100%. You know, so we're coming to the end of Anti-Bullying Week this week, and so I did do a post about that to make sure that went out as well on LinkedIn, a little video, my first video post ever.
Oh, was it? Well, you know what? You looked really good. You sounded great.
Oh, well, thank you.
I was loving that.
Was that get up in the morning and do a first thing early morning take. So that was fortuitous. But taking the time to go also onto Kidscape, read some of those case studies that are on there, and the people that they've helped, really it really sinks in the value and the importance and the meaning of it. And this is where that workplace thing really matters as well to me. Coming back to that is that kids, looking after our kids, if it's happening at school, is building that resilience, building that comeback and that bounce back to build their strength back, because they're going to be the leaders of the future.
Yes.
And we need to show them that A, it's not okay, B, there is something you can do about it, and C, you can move on from this and grow bigger and stronger. And that is, all those three things are so fundamental to the success of those individuals.
Yeah, those individual people.
And where we go next, because there are some crazy shizzle happen out there in the world right now, and we're being dominated by quite a bullying leadership across the world.
Absolutely agree.
And we need to invest in what good looks like and how we can make our people better. And that goes equal measure to the resilience of bringing those kids back, as it does also for helping and supporting the bullies as well, to help them understand the ways of their behaviour and the misjudgments that they may have made.
Yeah.
One thing I always say about that as well is that, and I teach this with my daughter, is because we had a little bit of an incident with her when she was in primary school and something that needed managed, and her being bullied, is that having a consciousness also for why someone might be behaving like that towards you. Okay. And I think it is equally important to understand that they also might be having challenges and problems.
Yes.
It doesn't make what they're doing right, but it can go some way to at least making sense and rationalising why something would be happening, and that you're not necessarily, don't be the victim of them.
Yes.
That in fact, they're probably a bit of a victim too.
Yes.
So I think that just helps again with that mental resilience of coming out the other side, that there's probably, unfortunately, 2 kids in pain through all of that.
Yeah, and actually through the study and the work that Kidscape do, I think there's all these 4 different roles. I should know really, because I used to work there. Ashley, who's wonderful, he's the director of operations there, and he's actually going to be joining us on a call late this month to introduce Kidscape and all the team and the work they do, which is great. But there's all these different roles that children are playing. I think one that is also worth mentioning is that bystander, and something that we've reflected on this podcast, talking to the chaps and so before, is we have a responsibility to stand up and to say what we see. And yes, you've got somebody who's being bullied, the person who's doing the bullying behaviour, but you've also got those enablers and those bystanders. Yeah. And we have to educate and empower our young people, like you said, to say this is not right. You do not accept this kind of behaviour, but you also got to step up and speak up for others.
Definitely.
And I think that that's what this shows. Andrew Barton, wonderful man, sharing his story so publicly, so vulnerably. Josh Braden, newest ambassador of Kidscape. I don't know if you've got round to, have you listened to the other podcasts
yet? I haven't yet, no, on the list.
Get a tissue. Get a tissue for this one.
Okay.
And for me, I've known Josh for years through my other charity work. And to sit here in this lovely studio and to hear him and to hold that space of him for the first time talking to me about his story with bullying. We need to speak to make the change. Mm-hmm. We need to be that change we want to see. It's beautiful. I'm just so pleased you're part of it, Jo.
Oh, well,
Look at you joining the club.
I know. I'm fully immersed.
I know.
I am. I'm in. I'm here. And it's the greatest thing. It feels like it's going to be one of the best things I've ever done.
I feel like it is.
It already,
I feel like it is. I feel like it's going to open and empower you at a time that there couldn't have been a better time. And I know the relationships and the people who are involved, and I know the authenticity of this from the very first, from the start. I mean, this is my baby. I dreamed this up, and I've seen this grow, and I've seen who's joined, and it is this beautiful community. It's this amazing adventure for these beautiful people, all on their own individual stories within this bigger story. And the impact of it, quite honestly, is going to save a UK charity because it's going to be an astonishing amount of money. It's going to be £100,000 that comes into Kidscape. And all charities throughout the whole sector are suffering. It's a very difficult time. Corporate giving's down and this and that's harder and individual giving. But I tell you what's up. Climbing cash, only because of what we're doing. Yes, we are. Be part of that. So before we finish off for today, Jo, because I know everyone would have been loving hearing from you, if there was a lady who had been through a significant life change and was perhaps trying to change her outlook on the world and life and was considering taking on an adventure of a lifetime or doing something spectacular like what you have, what advice would you give to her if she was listening?
Lean in. Just don't overthink it. If you're coming to that point and it's even come into your space, into your life as even something to think about, it's there for a reason. And it's the door and it's opened. Just walk through it, because you never know what the next door is going to be. You never know what you're going to learn, the experience you're going to have, and what is going to open up for the world forward. Yeah. And, just because you're midlife, you're 50 or whatever age. Yes. Life is, as I said, it's full of experiences and you just got to get involved. So just do it.
I love that. You are the best. You could be like the poster girl for this.
Oh, well.
Just
insist.
Get some good selfies on that mountain, darling. I'm going to put you in press. You're going everywhere. Bless your heart. Well, it's been so beautiful having you here, Jo. And it's funny because it's the second time we've met. Yeah. And I actually feel like I know you already.
I know. I feel the same.
So the next meeting in the pub?
Definitely.
Okay, good.
First round's on me.
All right, you're on. Thank you so much for listening. It's just been beautiful. It always is. And it's been particularly lovely today with our Jo. You've been listening to BrightIAM. Thank you so much for joining us.